What's going on, everybody? Jeff Rose with Soldier of Finance and GoodFinancialSense.com. Today I've got another special guest. I'm joined by Tara Crooks. She is a blogger, radio host, podcaster, mother, and I think most importantly for this show is that she is a proud military spouse, which I commend her for. And she has some really exciting news to share with us, so I'm excited to do that. So how are you doing today, Tara?
Good. How are you, Jeff? Thanks for letting me be on your blog.
No, this is very exciting for me. I had a chance to meet Tara for the first time in San Antonio for a USAA conference, a blogger conference, perfectly enough. And before that, I'd heard of the Army Wife Network, but wasn't really as familiar with it. I apologize because when I got on there, I was just amazed at how big your fan base was. You know, how many people, how many military spouses out there that were really excited about your community that you've built. And I was really impressed by that.
Thanks. Thanks, Jeff. It was a lot of hard work, but I tell you what, it is the best job in the world. I mean, I seriously cannot imagine doing anything else, but if you'd asked me 6, 7 years ago if I'd be doing this, I would have told you there's no way. So, I mean, it's really funny to see how the journey that life takes you on and where you end up. So.
Right.
Glad to be here.
So for those that don't know you yet, but they soon will, tell us a little bit about your background. How did the Army Wife Network come to be? Talk about Army Wife Talk Radio, and just kind of like your military experience.
Sure. Well, first I will tell you, first and foremost, what's most important to me is my family. And my husband, Kevin, is an active duty soldier in the Army. And we have been married for 13 years now. Actually, I'm in trouble, 14 years. And I've been in the military for 13 years, or he has been in the military. We have 2 daughters, Renna and Chloe, and our 2 dogs and our cat. And we are stationed at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I know, don't be jealous. I know you are. So that's a joke, just in case you didn't know. Yes, so we live here on the installation at Fort Sill, and we're just really glad to be here. Daddy's been home for a while. It's a nice place to kind of settle in for a little bit, and that's not where our story started, though. We started back at Fort Hood. We've been to Fort Stewart. He's been to Korea, and we've gone through a few deployments. So it's been a really wild ride the last 13 to 14 years. Let's see, you wanted to know about how all this started. It was kind of an accident. I don't know, I mean, a happy accident, a wonderful accident for our life, but it really was not done on purpose. My husband had deployed in I guess he deployed in December of 2004 for his first deployment. And April of 2005, I founded Army Wife Talk Radio. Just on a whim. I mean, it literally was a whim. I was doing another home business. I kind of think I have entrepreneurship in my blood, and from my parents and my grandfather and everything. And I think I knew I wanted to do something. I knew I couldn't sit at home. And so I started my own business, and I was on a podcast back before podcasts were cool as a guest. And the lady said, you need to do this, you need to do this. And I have a tad bit of ADD. So, I was kind of bored in what I was doing for the moment. And I thought, I'll go check out podcasting. And so I was laying in bed 2 o'clock in the morning thinking, what am I going to do this show on? And I went through, the whole, I could be a mom, I could do pet loving, I could, the things that I loved. These are the things I love. And then I went, well, what sets you apart from everything else? And I thought, well, I'm an Army wife. And that kind of makes me part of a special community. So I searched, and all I found was Soldiers Radio Network. And so I was like, okay, well, Army Wife Talk Radio. And so I put up some really, really tacky pink camo graphics that now I would crack up laughing if you saw. And started this radio show with 32 listeners. It was just me. And at that point, we had the inline patch. We didn't have all this technology that we have these days. That kind of dates me. But I did, a podcast, and now we're on 338 shows. Last week, we did our 338th show. And so about a year into Army Wife Talk Radio, I met Star Henderson, who's also a co-author on the book and the co-founder of Army Wife Network. And in 2009, we kind of took all of our parts. We had an article we wrote called Field Problems that was a military Q&A. We have our field exercises, which are our spouse conferences, and we had Army Wife Talk Radio. And at that point, around 2008-ish, we said, you know what, this is something. And so we decided to put it all together under one roof and call it Army Wife Network. about that time, if you social media people remember, was when Facebook started to kind of creep around, and there was all kinds of different. I remember there was a network called On the Rise, so I don't know if you remember that one or not, but there's all these different little social things that were picking up, and we thought, social media. Well, I should say I thought, because I think that to this day Star thinks I'm nuts, but I said the social media thing. There's something to that, and so we went out there on the network and got set up on Facebook, and now we've got a huge fan base over there at Facebook, Army Wife Network, and then on the main website. And so that's what we do. We put everything underneath one roof.
That's great. I think one thing I'd like for you to comment on is you always see the bumper stickers or always the phrase, support our troops. And having been deployed myself, obviously we appreciate that. We love that, being gone. But a lot of everyone that's back home, I mean, you always say support the troops, but you don't think about the spouse, and what they're going through, to have their partner, deployed, to being home with, one child, two child, five children, trying to run the household. And I don't think a lot of people realize like how tough it is for them as well. And, can you comment maybe even on your own personal experience or just some of the experiences, with the network, just how tough that really is for, for the military spouse, back at home?
Well, I mean, to say that it's not tough, I mean, I can't say, oh yeah, we're fine, we're all great, but we are some of the strongest people that you will ever meet. I will tell you that. I mean, brand new or been around the block for a while, I call myself seasoned, it never gets any easier to see your spouse leave. It never gets any easier to have, your kids wonder where their daddy or their mommy are. It's rough. I mean, it is a tough life, but we, and we didn't sign up for it, contrary to popular belief. Not all of us knew what we were getting into. But you know what? Like I said, we're tough, and we can do this. And I tell them that all the time. One of the things we ask at our field exercises when we've got these rooms full of women, we'll say, well, I say women, every once in a while we get a guy that'll brave us, right? But there'll be a few out there, and I'll say, who can do this alone? And, you got to have somebody, and it's great to have a battle buddy to help you through it. But what we'll do just to prove that you can live through this is we'll say, okay, raise your hand, not a competition. Let's start at 0 and work our way all the way up. And we'll get some spouses that have been through 6 and 7 deployments. And of course, we check their pulse and we make sure they're still alive. And then we say, look, they're gorgeous and they're here tonight and they're dressed and they're breathing and they are proof that you can do this. So can we do it? Yes. Is it easy? No. I mean, and when you think about people saying, support the troops, I don't know if you asked me, Jeff, if you said, would you rather me, send you a care package or my husband? I'm going to tell you my husband because, I mean, I get to stay here and I have my kids and I have, my regular dinner and my schedule and my nice car to drive, and all that kind of stuff on the roads that are safe. Who do I think needs it more? Probably my soldier. But to say that it's easy for us is, that's definitely not true. It's a rough time.
Yeah. And I know, God bless them, the ones that have served more than, done more than one deployment. Like when you say, when I talk to anybody that's done more than one, for me, one was I would just say it was enough. We didn't have any kids at the time, and just the thought of being deployed, with children. I was very fortunate where, we were just newly married, right. So I didn't have to deal with that. So I can only imagine how much harder that would be. I think
you and I have actually talked about this on the airplane when we were on our way back from San Antonio. But yeah, I mean, it never gets easier. And like I said, we've been so fortunate in my personal experience that, we did go through some deployments. But when we left Fort Stewart for Fort Sill, we've been here for 3 years now, and my husband has been stable. It's been wonderful. But we know the second that we move, that... And I think that all military wives know. I mean, we know that it's still looming no matter what's going on. And no, it's not easy. And we definitely would ask that all of our Americans, support our troops by supporting our families. And there's a lot of programs. I think I'm very fortunate to know many programs out there that are very helpful. And I know that people are out there, contrary, to what you might think, or contrary to what the news tells you, let's say that, there's a lot of support out there for our military families.
Right. So as being a military spouse for, you said 13 years, is that correct?
Almost 14.
Almost
I'm pushing.
14
not
years.
That I'm counting. I mean, not that I'm, no.
So you've been a part of the military life for many, many years. And so along the way, I assume that you've grown to love it, all different aspects of it. And with that, you and 3 other military spouses have all co-authored a book which is entitled "1,001 Things to Love About Military Life."
It is. See, I have it here to show you. You want to see? Here's
That is beautiful.
Yay! Mwah! It's my baby.
So share the story with us of having the talk radio show, having the Army Wife Network, how that all led to creating the book, which is due to be released here really soon, right?
Well, I'll tell you, it is. It's due out November 2nd, and it is co-authored with Star Henderson, who's the co-founder of Army Wife Network, with me, and then our two mentors, Kathy Hightower and Holly Scherer, they also wrote Help, I'm a Military Spouse, I Get a Life Too, and they do the Follow Your Dreams While You Follow the Military workshops for military. What's important to note too, because I know that a lot of people are going to get in that, oh, it's a book about military spouses, is it's not about military spouses. Definitely for all military family members, including the service member. Kathy and Star both served as veterans before, or they are veterans, they've served before. And so, it's got something for everybody. And it was just a joy. I mean, we say on our blog, we are not Pollyannas. And I don't know if that's the words that I necessarily would. I would just say, I'm not oblivious. I live on post on a military installation, and I volunteer and I deal with the military every day. If you would think I was nuts if I told you that there wasn't something that drove me nuts about the Army. I mean, it happens to all of us, right?
Yeah.
But we found that, when you sit down and you're contemplating in or out, or do I stick out the last 6 years, or what are you reflecting back maybe on this journey, and you're thinking, I think even you could probably say right now, you're very proud of your service, and obviously, you can continue to do things for soldiers and military families. It's something that you hold very high regard. There are a lot of things to love about this life, and it is a group, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and that's what we wanted to celebrate. There's so many people out there right now that are wondering, what in the heck? Someone, I think you said to me right before we got on this call, I just wanted to see how you came up with 1,001. So we started a small list, and it grew from there. And it is, do you hear my office assistants?
I do.
Real life, everybody, real life. I work from home, and those are I told you, my Bob and my Ellie back there. Mm-hmm. Back on track, I'm sorry. We really want you to know that, there's a lot of things to celebrate about this life. And you and I were talking, how'd you get to 1,001? We started that small list, grew from there, and it's just turned into a beautiful work of art. I really do feel, I was telling you earlier, it's like having a baby. You work and work and work and work, and you grow this puppy, you got this sucker. And then you push and you push and you push and you got it out, and you're like, oh, and then you go, I'm tired, you take care of the baby, So I think about a month ago, I was at that point where I was like, you just take it. And then last week, my baby came to the doorstep, and it's like that time when you sit down and you're looking and you're like, you're so pretty. And this is what I did. This is what I did with this. I said, oh, you're so pretty. I'm proud. I'm proud to say that this is our life. I'm proud to say that this is what my kids are going to get out. Now I'm going to start crying out of, and if I'm not here tomorrow, this is how they know that there was a lot of pride in this life, and that this is something to love and to be proud of. And I hope that everybody gets that from it too. It's a celebration from things, there's on the inside, we've got, worth joining for. On the inside, we've got sections for service members, spouse, family, jargon, all the traditions. And then you go to all the way to rewards for living the life. You've got you know what? I probably shouldn't speak too soon. Outside looking in, that's for the people who are looking at us going, what the heck are you wanting to do this for? To worth staying for, and then rewards. And so it's got a little bit of everything for everybody. And there's even I think you'll like this. If you're a blogger or you're someone who likes to journal, inside, let me see if I can find one for you. There are places, now here, I hope you can see this. I'm on page 146 and 147. See this right here? Mm-hmm. There's actually places for you to go inside the book and share some of your own thoughts and things that you loved about the military life. So you could technically go in here, fill in some of this stuff, and give it as a gift.
Yeah.
Or share it with somebody.
Yeah.
For instance, this one is, what are your favorite military vacation experiences? And it's got some great places. So you're going to rejoice and share and I don't know, reminisce, I guess would be the right word to use. And then you're also going to go in here and go, wow, I didn't know that resource existed. You know, there's all kinds of stuff in this book. And I hope that everybody really enjoys it. What I hope to get out of this is that all of you guys out there who are military family members, service members, military spouses, anyone affiliated or has a love of the military, buy this book and let's show them that, you know, we can be a New York Times bestseller with the military.
That's right. I did see some of those journal pages, and just the few I glanced at. I mean, you know, it was what was your favorite? I think jargon. What was your favorite?
Yeah.
Maybe foods that you've eaten in other countries. I mean, you know, for those that have been deployed, and like you said, it is an interesting journal to where, because I think, you know, a lot of military, you know, if you've been deployed, and I've had a lot of clients that are, you know, World War II veterans, you know, that they've seen some stuff, and they really didn't. They didn't really open up a lot about it. And I remember I had one client, you know, he's gone now, and we worked together for like 5 or 6 years, and each time that we met, he would kind of share something more, you know, and I think it was stuff that he really didn't tell his family, like about a grenade that, you know, should have went off in his foxhole that didn't, about, you know, run-ins he had with German soldiers where, you know, he had to do what he had to do, but, you know, he didn't really tell his family that much. But I think if they actually buy this book and a chance to kind of reminisce, I mean, it allows them to kind of tell their story to where, you know, their kids and grandkids, you know, be very proud and have a better understanding of why they loved, you know, this life so much.
Well, you know, one of the reasons I think that he continued to tell you more each time was because that is a true testament that this is a brotherhood. And whenever he realized, you know, that you were going to listen and you were going to understand, and so you opened that door too. So hopefully this will do exactly what you just said. It'll give people an opportunity to share joy, and that's what we want. There's so many things. We are in our 10th year of war, and we're 1% of the population fighting it. You know, I mean, there's rough times out there.
Yeah.
And so you really have to look at, and you have to make a mental choice, you know, to celebrate the positives. And so that's what we wanted to do, is put all those positives out into the universe.
All right, and I love the book. I'm obviously going to pre-order whatever I need to do, because I want my kids to know. I want them to be, you know, proud. I'm not saying that I want them to serve. I mean, obviously I would love it, but I'm not going to force it on them. But I want them to know that, you know, hey, I love my country, and I want them to appreciate, you know, what we have here, you know, at our disposal. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing some of your story and your experience. For those that are interested in the book and maybe the radio show and the blog, tell us what's the best ways of getting in touch with you or just following you.
Okay, well, I am personally on Facebook and Twitter, and so you can subscribe and or follow, and it's just Tara Crooks. You can get us at Army Wife Network on Facebook and Twitter, so it's twitter.com or facebook.com/Army Wife Network, and that's where you can follow the blog. You can also follow all of our, you know, pages and posts on Twitter and Facebook, but you can also go to the main site, armywifenetwork.com. And then for the book, because, you know, you try to get everything nice and confusing here, for the book we have one website, and it's lovemilitarylife.com, and so you can go check out that. And of course, because you know, I have a conglomerate of things going on here, you can follow 1001 Mil MIL Life on Facebook and Twitter as well. So all kinds of social media out there.
Okay, and I will have all those links at the bottom of this, so people can click on those easily.
Good.
I think the one thing I would like to close with is to hear from you. If you had to say what is the #1 thing that you love about military life, what would you say on the spot?
Besides my soldier, besides my soldier,
your soldier, yeah.
That's a duh, right? Yeah, I mean, I always say, okay, besides your soldier. I have to tell you that the best thing is my friends. I mean, I have met some incredible people on this journey that I would call my family. And I always say, you can choose your friend, or you know, you can choose your friends, you can't choose your family. But I mean, I chose my family. I know that sounds really crazy, but these people are my family, and I would not change or give up even those hard times for anything, any of that. So, you know, friends and family are #1 important.
And that's how we would usually respond in the Army. We would just say, "Huh."
That's right.
On that. So, and,
Roger that.
Roger that. That's right. Lima Charlie. All right. Well, hey, Tara, I appreciate you coming on, and good luck with the book. It looks fantastic. I'm sure people are going to love it. And
I hope so.
Yeah. So we really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. So take care.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.